Breaking news in the Bay Area. Niner fans, I think it's time to panic. Because this loss to the Indianapolis Colts, in my eyes, is a reason to panic. And so, Sean, what really concerned you about the game?
What concerned me? I mean, where should I start?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I mean, there are so many problems. Coming out of Seattle, we were already having so many injuries on this team, so that was problem number one.
Okay.
Number two, Anquan Bolden, one of our best receivers based on week one. He cannot do well on man-to-man coverage. He only does well on zone coverage. So when the Colts were putting him on man-to-man, he's not fast enough to outrun their defenders, and he just couldn't really catch the balls that Kaepernick was throwing to him.
And he was covered by Vontae Davis, brother of Vernon Davis, and catches one.
Interesting, I didn't know that. Okay, so, I mean, where do we go from here? Okay, so passing game is not working. You can't get any of your receivers open. So my question is at that point, and a lot of fans' questions is, why would you have your quarterback continue to pass so much when it's just simply not working?
Well, see, I think, honestly, I just think, when coordinators dial up pass plays a lot, it's because they're enamored with their young quarterback. They want to see him throw the ball down the field. I don't know. But from what I've seen from the 49ers, I think they should have went back to their... you know what? I think they're in an identity crisis.
Identity crisis. Like a midlife crisis kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't think this team knows if they want to be the physical team that got them to the Super Bowl years ago, or last year.
Yeah.
Or do they want to be the team, a new reinvented team that's an aerial attack with a running game? When, if you asked me, I think what they should do is stick to the old formula of being the run first team, ground pound, and let the passing game open up through the run game versus passing and occasionally run.
Yeah, I mean, that's always what the Niners have done really well, regardless of if Alex Smith was quarterback or Kaepernick was quarterback or what team they were playing, how the passing game is going. They have always been really good at running the ball and running it effectively and efficiently. So when Frank Gore, during the game against the Colts, is getting 7.5 yards per carry, and he's a major part of one of the drives, the only drive that gave them a touchdown.
Yeah.
And they have this amazing success, and after that, they decide, let's have Kaepernick just throw it constantly, over and over, and not really run the ball. Like, Frank Gore got angry about that after the game with Harbaugh.
Any great running back would, because they pay Frank Gore to run the ball, and Frank Gore has been carrying the rock for this team for the past 7 years, and we all understand that he's 30, and that's the dreaded age for running backs. But Frank Gore has shown time and time again, especially during the preseason and in this game alone, that he still has the wills, to produce. And
he's so good.
Yeah,
he is so good.
And as long as as long as Greg Roman realizes what he has in Frank Gore, giving him 20 carries a game, Kendall Hunter 10 carries a game, and Kaepernick maybe 8 to 10 designed quarterback runs, I think this team could just be as lethal as they were last year when they made the Super Bowl run. I honestly believe that.
The thing is, does Greg Roman realize what he actually has in Frank Gore? Because he should know by now what he has in Frank Gore, and that Frank Gore plays a crucial role in this offense. He can run the ball more effectively than the other running backs. He can run the ball with more yards per carry than what they get passing a lot of the time. So why not give the ball to Frank Gore? I really don't understand it. I don't understand why they made those play calls during that game. And I think that the decision to go pass heavy in the second half and even the second quarter as well.
Yeah.
That decision just, it baffles me. It really baffles me. And if they're going to right this ship and go into the Rams game on Thursday and win that, they need to decide that they need to depend on the running game if they need to. If they need to, then recognize that and run the ball.
And the thing about, the 49ers is they're a very versatile team on offense. Especially when they're healthy. I mean, when they're healthy, this team, you could run the ball 30 times, you could pass the ball 30 times, and there'd be no difference. But since you have Crabtree out, Manningham out, Vernon Davis out, am I missing anybody? There's, maybe
those are the receivers. They're out.
A couple offensive linemen too, right? Or maybe a few.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. If a lot of your core players from your offense are out, you need. I'm not saying revert to a vanilla type play call, or offense. Just at least ease Kaepernick into it. He's only the second. This is only his. Actually, this is his first full year as a starter.
Yeah.
So there's going to be growing pains. You can't just expect him to be magical like he was last season. So
especially when the main thing with Kaepernick and a couple of the other new quarterbacks like RG3, the new thing is the read option. Read option is so effective. He used it against the Packers in the playoffs so effectively and dominated that game. Well, teams are getting used to that now, and they're more prepared for the read option. So if the quarterback tries to pull that, then teams are prepared for it, and they know how to respond to it. And I think during the game against the Colts, Kaepernick actually tried the read option a couple times, and one of them, it actually ended up being for a loss of yards. So that just shows you that even the Colts know when to look for that. So that's not really something you can depend on now. And without the read option, you've got Kaepernick either passing or handing it off, and you got to go with those options.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, because even though they ran the pistol and read option, to perfection, near perfection, I would say so.
Yeah.
Teams are going to catch on. So what you need to do is use it as a wrinkle in your game versus using it as a focal point for your offense. Carolina learned that last season when they tried to make the whole offense run through the read option. It didn't work too well. But when they went back to the traditional offense and sprinkled some red option in there, that's when they started winning their games at the end of the season, and that's how they dismantled the Giants 38-0.
Yeah. So used sparingly.
Exactly.
It's fine. But you cannot depend on it.
No.
You can't put that much pressure on your quarterback during a game to make the offense effective.
And expose them to so many hits.
I mean, I just keep going back to this thought. Like, what was Greg Roman thinking when he decides to put so much on Kaepernick's shoulders during this game?
I think, also I think it's just a coordinator's reactionary, reflex in my eyes. When you're falling behind by the second half, they're just like, okay, catch up time. Let's try to pass, force, press. Let's just try to heave the ball down the field and, hope for a prayer. And obviously that didn't work.
That sounds like such an effective strategy. Just hope for a prayer.
That's what it looked like. I mean, fans, you've seen it. Kaepernick running every which way, trying to make, he's pressing out there. I think he's just trying to make too much happen. So if he reverted to the way he played last season, where he he takes what the defense gives him, then the big plays will come. So I think until the 49ers really revert back to their old ways, I think we're going to continue to see the struggles. And on top of that, their defense, I've never seen their defense in the Harbaugh era, look so bad.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Like, what happened with the defense as well? Eric Reed still doing good. Did he have an interception during that game?
No, he's made some
pretty good tackles.
Pretty impressionable plays.
Okay.
He was balling out.
But overall, we don't have Patrick Willis anymore temporarily?
He might be back next week, I think.
God, I hope so. Please. Please, Willis, get better. I'll help pay for your medical bills or something. Like, I mean, what needs to happen for you to get back on this team and prevent the other side from making plays?
Well, and the other thing I think the 49er fans really need to worry about is the fact that Aldon Smith is out indefinitely. So with no timetable. Yeah. But the only bright news to that is he's getting help. We'll hear no more. Well, hopefully he becomes a changed man and we hear no more DUIs, crazy house parties where he gets stabbed or, things like that. I think you just put your life first before football, in this situation. And Aldon Smith, they're going to miss him sorely. And I don't know. I just really hope they don't fall to 1-3. But since the Rams have played epically bad against the Cowboys, I think this might be a confidence booster for the Niners.